Hi everyone, Salesforce integration training day 7. Let's see what we are going to learn today. We'll quickly go through the previous session overview. We'll talk about the integration XML and then we'll talk about the document type definition, which is a DTD, and then we'll talk about the XML document with external DTD, XML document with an internal DTD, XML schema definition, simple element definition, complex element definition. These are the one which we are going to see today. So till last class, we have seen we have seen JSON class and JSON generator, JSON parser and token enum. We have seen just an example. So these are the different things, whatever we have a 4 different types we have in the JSON class, JSON generator, JSON parser, JSON token enum. So this is what we have seen till last class. Today we are going to see XML. Now XML, when we say XML, so as we have seen yesterday, XML is the language. It's a markup language which is called as an extensible markup language. It is designed to store and transport the data. That means it is designed to carry the data, not to display the data. It is carry the data. How it is going to carry the data? Developer has to define a tag, which is called as a self-descriptive. Developer has to define the tags, and based on the tag, it is going to store the information in the XML and it is going to transport the data by carrying the information whatever is mentioned in the XML. And XML tags are not predefined. XML tags are not predefined. Tags, it's up to the developer how they wanted to implement. And XML is a platform independent and language independent. XML is used as the DTD, which is a document type definition or a schema to describe the data. And XML allows the user to define own tag and own document. So what is that this means? Like a XML tag are not predefined. That means, now let me go to the notepad. Now here, usually any XML starts with the less than question mark XML. It starts with the less than question mark XML and version equal to 1.0. Version equal to 1.0 and encoding. Encoding equal to UTF-08. Which is similar to the package.xml. In the package.xml also you have seen this first line. This first line is common for everybody. This first line, whenever you are implementing the XML, this first line is common. Less than question mark XML. Version you need to specify 1.0. Encoding UTF-8. Now, within this, you can implement, like there is an end tag also will be there here, right? So within this, what are the end tag? Whatever the data that you wanted to send into the third-party system. For example, I wanted to send the to address, from address, heading, body information. Like I wanted to send the to Melissa, I wanted to send. And who is from is, let's assume that it is a Oxford University. Oxford University. And what is the information that I wanted to send? Heading is integration. And the content in the body, the content which I wanted to say here is, do not forget to attend the integration classes from Monday to Friday. or integration classes. That's it. Right, so this is what is the information. Basically, I wanted to send this information. Now, whenever I wanted to send this information, now in the XML, how do you place this information? XML is basically, it is just to store and transport the data. It is not to display the data. Whatever the information I'm writing within the XML, it is not used to display the data. It is used to store and transport the data. Now, this is the information which I wanted to send. Now, what I'll do is within this XML, I'll say that note. This is some XML tag which I'm defining it as a developer. I'm defining it here, and this is the end node. That means within this, I'm sending this information. Now, within this, we have so many data is there. So I'll use the to tag and information. I'm sending the Melissa, closing out to. Similarly, from is also I'll make it as a tag. This is the XML tag, which is I'm defining that XML tag. So close off from. Similarly, heading. Heading is also I'm defining this is as a tag and closing off heading. Similarly, body is also a tag, XML tag, and closing the body here. So what I have done, whatever the text is there, so simply I made them as XML tags. They are the XML tag. Within the node, to is a one tag, from is a one tag, heading is a one tag, body is another tag. These tags are available within the parent tag. Parent XML tag called node. Within the parent XML tag, we have some inner XML tags to, from, heading, body. Actually, these tags are not predefined tags. These tags are defined by the whoever is the development. Like right now, I have defined these tags. Similarly, whenever the developer is working on it, so the developer will be defining their own tags. It's up to them. So that's the reason, in case if I'm sending this information to any third-party system, now what they will understand, they don't understand this at all. They will ask, what is the node here? What is the node tag? What should I get it from the node tag? What is the to tag? What should I get it from the to tag? What is the from tag? What should I get it from the from tag? What is the heading tag? What is the information that I'll get it from the heading tag? So third party members cannot understand. Now, in that case, third party system or third party members has to work with the developer. If the developer is whoever is implemented that XML, if the developer is available, developer is going to tell note is just a parent tag. In the two, you will be receiving the whoever we are sending the information, that person name, from whoever is sending the information, those details. Heading, it's kind of a subject. Body is a content that should be available within the message. Now, this is the information developer has to give the information to the third-party system, or else developer has to create a documentation to the third-party system. Then only they can understand it. Similarly, assume that if YouTube API, if YouTube is planning to implement XML, if they want to implement a XML, assume that XML is going to build by the YouTube. YouTube is going to build their own XML by giving their own tag, their own XML tag. It doesn't care who is third party, because third party there are so many third parties are there. Instagram is there, Salesforce is there, Salesforce, AWS, Amazon, so many are there. Salesforce, Amazon, right? So Facebook, so many, everybody is almost integrating with the YouTube. right? So we never know who is the new person that is going to start implementing the integration with YouTube API. Now, these many third-party systems who are integrating with the YouTube. In that case, YouTube, whenever if they are implementing the XML, if they are implementing the data in the form of XML, if they are providing the data to the XML data to the third-party system, in the YouTube, whoever is the person has implemented the XML tag, that person has to work with the third-party system. Like that, how many third-party systems they will be working on? It is so difficult. It is so difficult. That's the reason everybody has converted their data from the XML to the JSON. Because if you define your own tag, it is very difficult for other person to understand what is the tag that you have defined, what is the information that is going to come in the tag. We don't know, right? It is so difficult to maintain or a when in that case now Amazon will be saying that okay, I do not want to work with YouTube because their data is not appropriate. I'm not getting the correctly. Salesforce says that I'm not work with the YouTube because they are sending in the XML format and it's not right format. So like that, we will be keep on losing the third party customers. Whoever wants to integrate it, we will be losing the customers there, clients will there, right? So whenever you implement XML, you have to, developer has to sit with third-party system to explain the each and every tag that is we are sending the information to the third-party system, that we are sending the information to the third-party system. So this is how the structure will be there in the XML. Right? So here XML starting version is less than question mark XML version 1.0, encoding UTF-8 node. So within the node, I am going to send the information to Melissa from Oxford University, heading integration body. This is the body. Now this is the XML examples. Now, XML is divided into two types. XML is divided into two types. One is DTD. DTD is nothing but a document type definition. Document type definition. And the next one is a XML schema. Next one is XML schema. Now, whenever we implement a XML, either we use a DTD XML or XML schema. We use either XML DTD or XML schema, we will be using it. We will be using either of one option. Either of one option we will be using the information. Now, let's move on to the next one. Now, so if I have to explain the XML clearly, how it is comparing to the JSON. Now, let me show you that. Now, for example, if it is a JSON, just comparison between the JSON and XML. If it is a JSON, I'll be having a curly braces, exclamation, curly braces. Now in that single quote, name, double quotes name equal to, let's say Melissa, and let's say city equal to, let's say they are from New York, and phone number is some phone number I'm giving here. This has to be in the double quotes, city also in the double quotes. This is how your JSON. Same thing if you want to convert into the XML. Same thing if you want to build in the XML. Same information I wanted to build in the XML. In that case, what we will do is less than question mark XML version equal to 1.0 and then encoding equal to UTF hyphen 8. Now end the question mark and greater than. Now within this, I'll be having a tag called name. Now here I'll be mentioning the Melissa, ending tag of name, and then we have a city. City, let's say here the same information, New York, and I'll be ending the city here. Next, phone number. Phone number is same phone number, ending the phone number here. This is how we will be building the XML. Whatever the data you have in the JSON format, that's exactly you will be building the information in the XML. This is a simple JSON. For this simple JSON, this is how the data will be. For the simple JSON, this is how the data will be. Now, if it is a complex, now when I say complex, now for example, you have the data. Let's say here you have the data, name, city, and phone number. After that, you have the information of the account. Account, in the account object, within that I have an array. Now here I have an information of name, colon, let's say some ABC, and then comma, I have a phone equal to colon, some number. Now here I'll make it as a, instead of name, I'll say here first name, and here I'll take out the phone. Right, so like this, you have a multiple accounts, at least 2 accounts are there. You have 2 accounts within the account. Right, so this is how you have the information. Whenever you have a complicated XML, how we are going to build it here. Now let me show you that. Now first line is as usual, it is a common. So I'll copy that. And next I have the information of first name, city. First name, city. Now I'll take the first name. Within the first name, I'll be mentioning the whatever the first name of the name is available, that's the name. And then we have a city. Now within the city, New York. Now here you have a text which is an account. You have a text which is an account, and within that you have a multiple account information. You have multiple account information you have. So how you are going to build this? Let me copy this. Now how you are going to build this here? So basically for this, what I'll be doing is account is a my parent tag. Account is parent tag. Now within that, I'll say here name is ABC. And next, this is the phone. No. One account is ending here. One account is ending here. Now another account I'll open. Now within this account, now again name is XYZ, closing the name here. And then I have a phone. Phone is, this is a phone number. Similarly, ending the phone here. Now, this is the second account closing here. Now this is how you will be having an information stored in the XML. Now it's up to you whether you wanted to store like this or within the single account open and close, then you can divide. So this is the first record, this is the second record. You can define your own tag, whatever the structure you wanted to implement, you can simply implement it. You can simply implement it. Right. So for example, if I wanted to like this, I'll say here, this is the core information. This is from here to till this point, it's a core information. And from here, it's a main information. From here until the end, it's a main information. So whatever the tag you wanted to implement, it's up to you. You can implement it. Now again within the account, you have a one account, two accounts like this you have. Now in case you don't want like this, now you wanted to add another tag, you can add it. Number tag, you can add it. So whatever the thing you are thinking that you can go ahead and implement it. Now I can say that now if I am sending this information to third party system, now a third party member cannot understand what is the core, what is the main, and what is the account, and what is the name, what is the phone. He cannot understand what is the first name, what is the city, and what information you are sending in this information. I don't know, right? They cannot even understand what is main and what is core. Core contains what data, main contains what data. We don't know. So the third party member has to discuss with the developer. You are sending the core and main. What is the core information? What is the main information? What is the information that's sent into the core? And what is the information that's sent into the main? How is it every time it is a constant or not? So everything we need to share the information with third party system. So this is how XML structure will be there. So XML is divided into two types, DTD, XML schema. Now DTD is nothing but a document type definition DTD. Document type definition DTD. Now here, a DTD defines the structure and the legal elements and attributes of a XML document. DTD is going to define what is the structure and legal element and the attributes of a XML. So it contains, DTD contains three things. It is going to take care of the structure of the XML and what is the legal element, what are the attributes in the XML document. These are the three things which is going to take care of DTD. If you are implementing the XML by using the document type definition, if you are implementing the XML with the DTD, these three things which will be automatically defined in the DTD. Now XML document with internal DTD. We have an internal DTD, external DTD. We'll see those points. What is the internal DTD? What is the external DTD? Now, first we'll see XML document with an external DTD. Now, what is this external DTD, internal DTD? That means the way of execution, the way of defining the XML will be different for the external DTD. It is different for the internal DTD. The way of coding, the way of implementing the XML, different for the external DTD. It is different for the internal DTD. Now, for example, right now we are going with the XML document with an external DTD. In this case, I'll just define the starting one. So question mark XML version equal to 1.0, encoding equal to UTF-8. So whatever the starting line is there, which is same. After the first line, if you see in your XML, which says that less than exclamation doc type employee system, employee.dtd. If any of this kind of a thing. So usually if you look at any XML, in that XML, if you see this tag, so less than exclamation doc type, and this text can be changed anything, and ending tag. If you see this kind of a information after the first line, that means this is an external DTD. That is external DTD. Now you are specifying that this XML, whatever you are going to implement XML, it's based on the employee data table, employee document type definition, employee document type definition. Now this is about the employee DTD, employee.dtd. This is the external, if anybody external wants to, in case externally, if you wanted to get the information, it's called as a employee.dtd. Within this, you can specify whatever you want. Now, for example, you want the employee details. You want the employee details here. Now, within the employee, you can specify the first name. Whatever the employee first name is there, that's the same employee first name. And then last name, whatever the employee last name, you can specify the last name, and then email. Now this employee information is stored in the external DTD called employee.dtd. Employee.dtd. Now right now we have implemented one example in the notepad. We have implemented one example in the notepad. Now we have implemented this information here, right? So whenever I add here exclamation doc type, all capital letter, doc type, and then this is the account information. I'll say here account information, and in double quotes, I'll say that this is the account.dtd. So whenever you see this exclamation doc type after the first line, that means that is a external DTD. XML is implemented by using the external DTD. XML is implemented by using the external DTD. Now this is called external DTD. Whereas internal DTD is first line is as usual same. From the second line, what it says is exclamation doc type node, and there is a one object gets open. In that object, you will specify that exclamation element node 2 from heading. Element 2 is a data, system data. Element from is also data, and element heading is also data. And we are closing the doc type here. We are closing the doc type. So this is how we implement a internal DTD. This is how we implement a internal DTD. So doc type is divided into the multiple lines. For internal DTD, doc type is divided into the multiple types. Now let me give you one example, the one which we have implemented right now. Now in this case, I have a core, I have a main, right? And then I have a account details. Now instead of writing, this is the external DTD. This is the external DTD. For internal DTD, whatever I am going to do right now, it's an internal DTD. If it is an internal DTD, then I'll specify here exclamation doc type, and then I will be opening up the array object. Now within this object, now what is this we are mentioning here? We are mentioning in this internal whether this particular tag should be ignored or should be considered something. This tag should be a system data, or this tag is a table, or this tag is a field, or what is it? So we are going to clearly mention in the doc type. Here what we have done, we have not mentioned in detailed information here. We simply said that it is a account.dtd. Now here for the internal, what we are going to do is we are going to mention here exclamation. You can use any field here, any name here. For example, I'll say here root. I have a core. So core is the one tag which I have it, right? So this is the system data, which is nothing but PC data, PC data. And similarly, I have a main. So let's say root, it's a main. Main is also PC data. And I have another one which is called as a account. I have another one which is called as a account. Exclamation element, account, it's a table information. It's a table information. Now this is individually I'm specifying here. Individually, I am specifying that if it is an internal DT, I'll be clearly mentioning in the doc type what is this core and what is this main and is this an element, right? So which type of a table it is. So everything I'll be specifying the information. Everything I'll be specifying the information there. So this is called as the internal DTD. Internal DTD. Document type. This is the external DTD. So XML can be implemented with the DTD. Again, inside it, XML can be implemented with external DTD or internal DTD. You can use any of those. You can use any of those. So this is the internal. If it is an internal, you will be specifying the what is each tag. What is each tag? So to hash PC data. Now that means consider that information. From heading, these all are the information considered. Now within this I have a two and then from address, heading, body and node. Now here element I am saying here node. Within the node I have a two from heading. Two from heading. Now instead of element you can specify a root also here. Root node. Now then inside that you can specify the element to and element from, element heading, element body. So this is the information you will specify. Now you look at any XML. So even single XML also will not be same. Let me show you that. XML web DTD. Now, here this says that address, name, right? Within the name, first, last, email, phone, birthday, year, month, birthday, address. These are not standard tags. These are not a standard tags. These are developer has defined it. Developer has defined it. Similarly, here you have a internal DTD. Internal DTD. If it is an internal DTD, you have a person, age, right, gender, name, all this information is there. You can give anything, exclamation element, exclamation root, anything. So here exclamation element because you are going to specify all the tags. You are going to specify all the tags. So element, you say person, within the person, name, gender, age. Now element age is a C data, PC data, and element gender is a PC data, and element name is a PC data. Similarly, you have another example here. Now where it is mentioning the entity, add one. Now here doc type is a customer. Doc type customer. Within the customer you have an entity, add one, and then add two. Address one and address two information. Now here it is a ADT1. It says that 15 G. Okay, basically you are passing the information here. Whatever the data is there, you are passing the information. That is a doc type. That is an internal doc type. That is internal doc type. External doc type means it is directly dependent on the doc. So each XML will be a different. Each XML will be a different. You will not find it any XML which has a common data. Every XML will be a different XML. Right, so this is doc type property, like you can see here, right? So DTD structure is, they have given the different thing. Now that is the DTD. So basically, whenever you wanted to implement the XML with the DTD, you need to choose whether you want to go with the external DTD or internal DTD. Nowadays, in the Salesforce, nobody is using the XML internal DTD or external DTD. But in case if the client are requesting to implement in the XML, this is how you have to do it with the DTD. Now there is another way to implement a XML. This is with the DTD. The second one is with the schema definition. XML is divided into two types. XML is divided into two types. So XML, you can implement one with DTD and another one with schema. This is the schema definition. Now if you go with the DTD, then again in the DTD, it has a two different external and then internal. It has a external and internal. Now schema. Schema one we are going to see right now. XML schema definition. XML schema definition. Schema describes the structure of a XML document. It defines the structure of the XML document. That means the XML schema language is also referred as a XML schema definition. In short, we will call it as a XST, which we call it as a XST, which is we call it as a in the somebody whoever is working in the real time, they will say that we are implementing the input in the XST format. XST format is nothing but schema definition. XML schema definition. XML schema definition. Now, how this XML? What is the difference between the normal DTD and schema definition? Now, for schema definition, the first line is as it is same, and then it is going to change. Now you are going to implement a schema definition. Now you are going to implement a schema definition. For schema definition, now this is the DTD. Now next one is a schema. Now next one schema, how you are going to implement it. First XML schema definition XST. Now, if you want to implement XML with a schema, then as it is, first line is same XML, and then you will say here version equal to 1.0, version equal to 1.0, and then I'll say encoding equal to UTF-8. Now ending here. Now second line, it is going to change. Second line, it has to be specified schema. Now, how you are going to specify schema? XS schema, XML and S XS. Now, you are passing some URL there. Now, if you look at the Java's, the package.xml, if you look at package.xml or we have few XMLs. So if you look at the package.xml or else there are few XMLs which are there. Now, if you observe here, XML then is equal to, you are passing some URL here. You are passing some URL. Now this you can give anything. You want to give package, you want to give Salesforce, you want to give anything, you can give it here. Here you need to specify XML and S equal to whatever the URL you wanted to pass it, you can pass it. Whatever the URL you want to pass it, you can pass it. Now similarly we have now lightning message channel. The second line is the XML and S. Right, Salesforce uses the XML with schema. Wherever you see the XML in the Salesforce, it uses the XML with schema. XST. It uses the XST. So wherever you open, which are the XML you open it, So it is basically everything is implemented, XML is implemented with schema. XML is implemented with schema. Now there is something called manifest. Okay. So which are the XML if you observe? Salesforce is using the XML and XML with schema. So the second line has to specify the URL from where you are going to get the information. From where you are going to get the information. Now tag could be anything. Tag could be you can give a access colon schema, or you can give a package, or you can give a lightning, or you can give a aura, whatever you wanted to give the tag name, you can specify anything here. You can specify anything. Let's suppose in our example, now I wanted to specify here SA colon, I'll say here industry. Now here XML and S, this has to be there, XML and S. After that, if you want to give, you can give anything here, equal to, you will specify here HTTPS colon / www dot, now I can give anything like a W3 school dot, let's say w3school.com, and then you have some information. Let me open that w3 school. Now in the W3 school, I wanted to get the information of all the HTML. So learn HTML, I wanted to get everything of this. I'll copy this. Now let's go to the Notepad++. Let me place this. Now this is the URL I wanted to pass it. This is the URL I wanted to pass it. Now after that, whatever you wanted to add, you can add. So same details you can add it here. Or name, whatever you wanted to add, you can add. It's up to you. But if you want to specify here instead of account, let's say that I'll say here name is starting from top. Let's say name is starting from top. Within the main, you have a code, and here you can say here SK colon. Let's say this is a table colon. Whatever this table is there, you can specify and ending the table. Similarly, you can specify SK colon, the table, and ending with the table colon. Like this, you can specify. This SK is you are adding some kind of a namespace. If you do not want this kind of a namespace, then you can remove it everywhere, wherever the SK is there. You can simply remove it. And it is a table colon account. Now, if you look at the here, the Lightning app page. So app page is there. Within that, they are putting their own XML tags. These are their own XML tags. Similarly, in the message channel also we are putting our own XML. So we have given here some tag name, XML and everything. I wanted to get it from this URL. And within this, I'm specifying the label is expose some parent labels, and within that, I'm specifying the internal label. So Salesforce uses the XML schema. So whenever the Salesforce implements the XML, they always use the XML with schema. So which is called as a XST. Now here second line is schema. You are mentioning the schema here. Within that element name equal to node. and complex type, you are adding the complex type, and sequence you are adding, and element name to run, heading, and body. Now, XML can be implemented in the easy structure as well as XML can be implemented in the complicated structure. What is that means? That means now I have a root here. Now starting of the XML here. Within this XML, you can implement only one child root. That means within this you have a multiple child. Or else what you can do is this is the root XML. Now again within this you will be adding in one more root. This is actually top. This is at the top level. Within that you are adding in one root. Within this again you are adding one more root. Within this again you are adding one more root. Within this again you are adding the one more root, right? So this is a root, this is a subroot, this is a sub root, this is a sub root. So which are the way you wanted to implement? Like within this sub root you have a multiple options are available. So this is a complicated one. This is a complicated XML. So you can implement whatever the structure is there. Now here you need to close the sub root, you need to close it, and you need to close the root here, and then you need to close the main here. Right here, sub root, you need to close it. Now here you have a sub root, right? So it's kind of a tree. So in the tree you have some roots are available, right? So for this root again there will be a root will be there. For this root again there will be a root will be there. For this again this root will be there. So like this there are multiple roots, like this it will be there and it will be there. And for this again it will be there, and for this again it will be there. Then you have it, some leaves and fruits will be available. So either if you want directly within the main, you can specify all the information, or else within the main, you can mention the root, and for that root again subroot, subroot, whatever is there. Now here if you observe, this is the main root. This is main. And within that you have a subroot. This is the subroot. Within this you have a subroot, 2 levels down. And within that you have a 3 levels down, subroot. And within that you have a 4 times sub, which is nothing but all the elements are mentioned here, right? So it's up to you how much complicated you wanted to build the XML, how much easy way you wanted to build the XML, it's up to you. It's up to developer. When I say up to you, it's up to the developer, how big they want it. So whatever the one main and at least one root, and within this one subroot is there, this is called as a simple. This is simple, but this is a complex. This is complex. Whatever this structure is there, this is a complex structure. This is complex structure. Whatever this structure is there, this is called as a simple structure. Simple structure of the XML. Now, Salesforce always uses the simple structure. It does not use the complex. It has a simple structure. If you open any XML, now it has a one main, and within that you have a sub, and here within this you have a sub. Like this, you have the information. It never go down into the another sub. Right? It will not make too complicated. So XML uses always the XML, Salesforce always uses the XML schema, which is a simple, it's not a complicated, which is a simple one, they will use it. Simple one, they will use it. Now simple element definition is where you will have a access colon element name equal to last name, type equal to access string, name equal to age, type equal to integer, date bond, date is a type. Now this is the simple one. This is the simple one. Complex is nothing but where you have a employee details, within that you have a first name, last name, again you have a access element, within this you have a complex type, within that you have a sequence, within that you have a name, first name and last name. These are the information is there. So this is more level down to the implementing the structure. So like this, if you have, this is called as a complex element. Sometimes Salesforce might go complex element, but not up to the more in-depth down. It might go up to the two sub it might be. So basically the example, if you see what are the example that we have implemented. Right here you have a city, within the city. Or if you say here phone, within the phone. Now here you have a closing of phone. Now within this you have a mobile. Now within this let's say within this you have a personal mobile. Personal mobile. There should not be any space. Personal mobile. You will give here some number and then you have a company mobile. Now you will be closing here company mobile. Now capital small letters also matters here. Now if you give here capital, if you give a small, it does not work. So make sure whatever the name you are specifying here, it should be the same name here. So this is called as a complex. This is called as a complex XML. Complex XML. So that's what we have seen here. And when it comes to the Salesforce, in the Salesforce, how we are going to treat this? How we are going to implement this XML? Now, what is the way that we are going to implement the XML in Salesforce? In Salesforce, whenever we implement XML, whenever developer implement for the integration purpose, whenever we implement it, whenever we are implementing the XML, we use a namespace called DOM. We use a namespace called DOM. Now in JSON, we were using the namespace called system.json, right? System.json generator, system.json parser, right? These are the, we were using it in the namespace called system. Now here namespace is a DOM. Whatever we implemented, everything has to be within the namespace. Everything has to be within the namespace. The DOM namespace provides the class and methods for a parsing or creating the XML. So within this namespace, we have a predefined class and predefined methods. By using the predefined class and predefined method, we can parse the whatever we have created the XML, we can pass it to the third-party system, or we can receive the information from the third-party system. Now, the second one is the class which we have is document class. One of the class we have document class. Within the DOM namespace, we have one of the class called document class. Now, using this document class, we can process the XML content. Now, you can parse the XML content that is up to the 50 nodes in D. That means the level down to the nodes, right? So if I have a parent here, now level down, this is one parent, and level down, one parent. Now level down, child, and level down, child, level down, child. Like this, you can deep into the 50 deeper you can go. 50 deeper you can go. So these are the, this is the parent, child, all the children are there. So up to 50 you can go inside it. Up to 50 you can go inside it. Now second class is XML node class. First one is a document class, second one is XML node class. XML node class. So using the XML node class, we can work with the node in the XML document. Whatever the nodes are available in the XML document, we can work with that particular XML. Now syntax is, now for example, I am using the namespace DOM. DOM dot class name is a document. I am specifying some name here, initializing some name here. New DOM dot document. This is for the document class. This is how we use it. This is how we use it. Now, if you see in the JSON we have a JSON create generator, create parser, right? If you wanted to serialize it, you have a serialize. If you want to deserialize, you have a deserialize. Like that, in the XML, in the document class, I'm going to talk, right? We will see each one by one. So within the DOM, first we will see the document class. In the document class also, we have a different predefined methods which will perform the serialize and deserialize. Which will perform the serialize and deserialize. First, we will see the document class. Within the namespace, DOM namespace, we will see the document class. Within the document class, we have a predefined methods. One of the method is a create root element. Create a root element. For this create root element, you need to pass the name, namespace, prefix. Now create root element. It creates the top level root element for a document. It creates the very top level element. That means you are creating the root element of it. You are creating the root element, which is a very top level, Now here, if you have something on the top, which is a main or a top. Now within this you have a child. Again within this you have a child. Now this create root element will be helpful for implementing the root element, top level root element for a document. Second one is get root element. Get root element. Now returns the top level root element node in the document. Whatever the root level elements are available, it is going to return to the document. Document is nothing but namespace. We have it within the class. Like these are the predefined methods. Whatever we are talking, these are the predefined methods. Create root element is a method in the document class. Get root element is also method within the document class. This document class is available in the namespace called doc. Now it is going to pass it to the document. If this method returns null, in case if this method is returns null, the root element has not been created yet. If this returns null, then it is not yet created. Now similarly, we have a load XML. Load XML is nothing but parse the XML representation of the document specified in the XML argument. Whatever it is specified in the, it is going to pass the XML in the document that is specified in the XML argument. Basically, it will load into the document. And next one is a to XML string. This is the final step. Return the XML representation of the document as a string. That means whatever the XML data it contains, this XML data, it will take it and finally it will convert it as a string. So syntax is DOM dot document doc equal to new DOM dot document and then doc dot load. That means I'm going to load the XML here. I'm going to load the XML. Now, if you want, like we have in the Salesforce also, we have this kind of information. Let me show you in the Salesforce. In Salesforce documentation, I'll bring you this URL. Now, Salesforce documentation, you have a DOM namespace. Go to the DOM namespace. Within the DOM namespace, you have a document class, which is a class. Within that, you have a document. Within the document class, you have a These are the methods: create root element, get root element, load to XML. Right? So this is the XML node class. Even XML node class also we have it. So I'll link you this URL. So if you get a time, just go through this, because this is exactly whatever I have explained. Same thing is explained in the Salesforce documentation. Salesforce documentation. Here we have a document class. Let's go to the document class. Let me refresh. Document class, it has a predefined, creates the top level root element of the documentation. Here you have to pass the, for this create root element, you have to pass the name, namespace, prefix, right? So calling this method more than once on the document generates an error. So you cannot call more than one time. So if you call more than one time, whatever the document is there, the document generates the error, as a document can have only one root element. It should have only one root element. You cannot call this multiple times. Root element should be created only one time. Now this is the get root element. For the get root element, you can use the, this is what it is written, right? If there is nothing is there in the method, if the method returns the null, that means the root element has not been created. That means you have not created this create a root element. Without this, if you are going with the get root element, then it might be giving the error. Now this is what is just now we have seen in the documentation. Now that's all for today.